In Hyderabad, the Excise Department cracks down on drugs continues. The SIT issues notices to around 10 high-profile people from the Telugu film industry. Earlier, of course, the Hyderabad team had cracked down on peddlers pushing drugs to school children. 2 weeks after he masturbated in the train in the presence of a girl, the pervert has finally been arrested. Man brutally lynched by a mob in Nagpur on suspicion of carrying beef. The assaulters allegedly linked to the local MLA. 25-year-old techie from Hyderabad commits suicide in Pune. Leaves a suicide note saying there is no job security in the IT sector. Days after Manjula Shetye was murdered in jail, 30 women MPs from across the country visit the Baikala jail to meet inmates and jail authorities. Sanskari censor strikes again. A film on Nobel laureate Amartya Sen blocked. Wants words like Gujarat, cow and Hindu India muted. In Assam, the flood situation worsens as the death toll touches nearly 45. Nearly 4 lakh people have been displaced and 208 relief camps set up. Complete apathy towards those who make India proud. A Paralympian forced to beg for money in a foreign country. India captain Mithali Raj scripts history, becomes the first woman cricketer to score 6,000 ODI runs. Hello and welcome. This is The Big Story. I am Kavita Krishnan. Tollywood is caught in the center of the mega Hyderabad drug bust. 10 high-profile actors, directors and producers of the Telugu film industry have been summoned by the SIT probing the Hyderabad drug bust. This, of course, comes on the back of the drug bust where the police zeroed in on peddlers pushing drugs to school and college students, some of whom were as young as 13 years. So far, 12 members have been arrested by the Telangana Excise and Prohibition Department in relation with the case. Paul now joins me with more details. Paul, of course, the ED director, the Enforcement Directorate director hinted at high-profile people, at powerful people who were part of this entire drug network. The notices that have been issued to these 10 people from Tollywood, is that just the tip of the iceberg?
Is that to me?
Yes, Paul. What I'm asking you is...
Yes, 10 people have been issued...
Paul.
10 people have been issued notices, 10 from the Tollywood industry, and we're hearing 35 others have been identified closely in touch with the Tollywood industry. In fact, raids were carried out even today, and we're hearing an 11th person was also sent notices today. It is only tomorrow that we will get to know whether anything substantial was found. It was after the call records of the 10 arrested, following which 2 more were arrested. The kingpin of the whole racket that was busted in Hyderabad was Calvin, and it was after going through Calvin's call records that they actually found out a lot of celebrities time and again had actually stayed in touch with these drug peddlers who were arrested, and it is based on these call records, one after the other they highlighted these leads actually led to the Tollywood industry. Some of them, we're hearing 2 of them are actually actresses from the industry. 10 of them were sent out notices as of this morning. We are hearing now that 1 more person has been sent a notice. 35 others who have been identified will also be sent out notices. They will be given 1 week's time. 1 week is because they'll have to respond saying they've got the notice. Within 1 week's time, they will have to present themselves before the Enforcement Directorate, following which they will be questioned, they will be interrogated. Their call records will be checked to see whether they were in touch with any other kind of peddlers. In fact, yesterday's arrest, 2 of them, one was the NASA scientist, space scientist from US Along with him, another BBA graduate was arrested, bringing the total number of arrests to number 12. They were in possession of ganja as well as 16 blots of LSD. So one after the other. Last week, in fact, the director himself told us they're calling the curtains on the case. The racket has been busted. But you can see how strategically, one after the other, the leads, the call records, once they are being examined, are leading to new leads from schools. They went to event management companies. From there now, they're presently interrogating Tollywood celebrities, we are being told.
Right. And Paul, you also said while you were just telling us that they are going to be meeting all of these people from Tollywood, and they will be looking to get more leads from that. So what do we assume over here? Are these people who have been issued notices, are they users, or could they also be potential peddlers?
Well, very strategically, the director, just like in the case when the racket was busted in regard to the schools, no names of the users, no identities of the users were let out, not even to the schools in which the students studied. Similarly, as of now, it's too premature, they say, to reveal whether they were smugglers, whether they were just retrieving or obtaining the drugs for themselves, or was it for some other reason. It's too premature. As of now, their call records just show that their numbers of these celebrities, these Tollywood industry people were actually present on Calvin's phone, on the phones of these drug peddlers. Hence, they are being summoned. It can be that someone else used their phone, which is very unlikely. It can be that they were actually obtaining these drugs for someone else. It can be that they were buying it and selling it, possible drug peddlers. It's too premature to comment on that. As of now, the directorate is also tight-lipped on this because, as I said, the raids are underway. They say they want to complete the raids and check, interrogating them, only after which they will be giving us more details.
Right, Paul. Obviously, the Enforcement Directorate over here has stumbled onto something really, really big. Looks like a big network over here because, like you yourself pointed out, from schools and colleges to event management companies to Tollywood now. What are you picking up from the Enforcement Directorate? Are they looking at this as a network which could have possible linkages to other states as well?
To begin with, they were absolutely clueless. They thought it's just something which was within 3 people. It was a gang of 3 people. It spread to 5, it spread to 7, it spread to 10, and now it's 12 people who have been arrested, 10 more who have been sent notices. Slowly, like you can easily notice by the actions of the directorate, the tentacles seem to be spread far and wide. As of now, no interstate links have been found. In Tollywood itself, they will be questioning actors, producers, directors. The film fraternity has also come out saying that if actors or directors or anyone from Tollywood is involved, they should give up this habit of using drugs or peddling drugs, because in fact we were speaking to the Telangana DGP who was talking to media. He said the aim as of now is several cases from Hyderabad. It's coming across as if Hyderabad has become the drug capital suddenly. He says it is just that cracking down on such networks have increased. They are on their toes. They're trying to make Hyderabad a drug-free city. And this is why on a daily basis you're hearing numerous cases of LSD, MDMA, ganja being seized. And hopefully in the near future we'll have Hyderabad as a drug-free city.
Right, Paul, and thank you for all of those details. Of course, we will keep coming back to you for more details on this drug bust because at Mirror now, we are extremely serious about this drug racket, because from what we understand, and we've conducted our own investigations as a channel, from what we understand, this is not a problem that is restricted to Hyderabad alone. This is a problem that has spread its tentacles far and wide. It is a cancer that is slowly spreading across the country. In fact, in Mumbai itself, our senior editor Mandar Fanse had gone out and had conducted an investigation. What we found was that drug peddlers were actually selling drugs to children. They called children easy business. Listen in to what a drug peddler had to tell us.
why you guys are into it? I mean, why the children are really targeted in the schools, and this is not the age when children should be introduced with such hazardous things.
That's correct. It's business, you see, because nowadays money is all that's required in the world. If you have money, you have everything, and children are easy to target because they are not sensible as of now. Until you're 21, you do not have that much of sense. So that is the reason they are targeted. And from children is where you get a lot of business.
We were just tracking you for a long time now, and basically we wanted to know. I mean, you have been into it, and you know what exactly the rates are like, and is it really penetrated across the schools and the young boys and girls?
Yes, I'd say, because this is a drug which is easily available in all the areas. So most of the school students have contacts with the elders, I'd say, people who are in the early 25s or early 20s. They abuse them most of the times, and it's easily available in streets nowadays. So it's available in like 1,000, 1,500 or 1,800 rupees. So yes, it is penetrated in most of the students across.
Children are easy business. That's what a drug peddler has to say. And that is the reason they sell drugs to children. Former ACP Dhanraj Vanzari joins me right now. ACP Vanzari, first let me talk to you about the case in Hyderabad. It began by the Enforcement Directorate investigating a group of drug peddlers, 3 of them in fact, who were pushing drugs to school children, to college children. From that, it led them to event management companies, and then it has led them to Tollywood, where they are now investigating 10 high-profile actors, directors and producers of the Telugu film industry. They've seriously stumbled onto a huge network.
Yeah, of course. Hello, are you listening me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, it must be a high-profile network, because simply construing and restricting investigation to the local level, and that too simple drug peddlers, will not solve the mystery of this menace. But the investigation somehow was bound to reach the higher and higher levels. I think beyond Tollywood also, this investigation would go ahead and grill the main people. I will not be surprised if they are very well highly politically connected people, or somewhere a very highly placed industrialist. Because in Thane, when in month of February, a big drug haul was unearthed, which was costing around 3,000 crores. To our all surprise, Mamta Kulkarni, the Bollywood actress, her husband and his network, high-profile network, was involved in that. A very famous TV serial in America, Breaking Bad, if someone would have seen, they would understand the simple drug peddlers won't have any solution to curb this menace, but we will have to reach up to the root. And let me tell you, this is not even national. As in Thane case, they had revealed some international contacts, some scientists from America, and they were involved. Some big industrialists were funding that venture there in Solapur, which is a huge investment in multi-crores, thousand crores. In such, I will not be surprised if in that we find some connection internationally. Finally, let me tell you one thing. Drug is an international industry, such a big, after food and the Hollywood, the best industry is the drug industry to earn profit and money. There might be a big international people involved to have a conspiracy on Indian youth. They want India to get crushed through the psychology of their youth.
Right, Dhanraj Vanzari, stay with us. Stay with us, sir. I'm also joined by Padma Shri Father Joe Pereira of the Kripa Foundation. Father, thank you for joining us. This story that is coming out of Hyderabad, tell us how bad is the situation in Hyderabad at the moment. We are hearing stories of school children, college children being sold drugs, and of these students actually having drug peddlers on their speed dial.
Yeah. Okay, let me tell you, I have just come back from a 2-month program abroad, right up from Greece to Sao Paulo. And when the news hit the headlines, I realized that this is a phenomenon that has 3 levels. The levels of afflicted, which are the kids, and the new captive crowd are these school children, and the second level is the institutions that have allowed this phenomenon to come into their colleges and workplaces like BPOs and all that. And the third level is this supply reduction racket, which is a huge thing. And there are not only governments, there are not only ordinary people, but governments behind them. And I feel Kripa Foundation is the largest NGO in the country to deal with demand reduction. We have innovative programs to dissuade people from getting into this. So preventive work and also healing work, because not every child gets hooked. But the problem is that children are lured into it for recreational use, and that's a big new phenomenon now, that people like to entertain by mind-altering substances. And
right.
So that level is a massive level, and we are only scratching the surface when we are talking about dealing with this problem, because the supply reduction racket is what is running probably governments.
Right.
And we are talking about various types of corruption. Well, we are only touching the tip of the...
In fact, Father, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what you're talking about, let me also bring in ACP Vanzari over here, former ACP Vanzari. The entire issue of actually zeroing in on who's bringing these drugs in, how it is being supplied. Are the police really equipped to do that? Because what we are being told, Dhanraj Vanzari, is that the appearance of these drugs also is being changed consistently. So it is very difficult to actually catch somebody with these substances.
Yes, that's right. But evil is more creative than good, and so this is in ordinary Indian philosophy and in Indian spirituality, Deva aur Danav ka ye jhagda hai. It's a fight between good and evil, and evil has been very creatively now knocking down people of good standing, people who had good family backgrounds, but money corrupted the whole family, and so therefore there are more and more new kinds of evil that are striking the youth, and the biggest evil is addiction of not only mind-altering substances, but connected to that is sex
right.
and
exactly, Father. And in fact, jis Danav ki aap baat kar rahe hain, the people who catch these Danavs, the evils, are the police. And that's my question, in fact, to Dhanraj Vanzari. Are our police equipped? Are they equipped enough to catch these drug peddlers, to catch these people who are spreading this poison amongst our younger generation?
What requires police to get equipped? It is simple handcuff. The equipment you are talking about is simple handcuff, and police are well equipped, they can do it. Main question is, when you ask me this thing, the answer should grill upon a larger in size than question, because police is a part of a system. Whether our system will support the investigating officer, whether our judicial system, whether our political system will stand by the investigation and will give all type of liberty and legal accesses to our police officers to conduct this investigation, because they all are duty bound to do it. This is not a simple crime of NDPS Act. If they go deep into it, it is a perfect anti-national activity.
Right, sir.
Deshdroha. There is some simple incident of stopping railways and the government and the police is thrashing the anti-national Rashtradroh ki kalam laga di. This drug menace of Hyderabad is an anti-national activity.
Right, ACP Ansari, do you think this is a part of a bigger network that could have links to other states? Because of course they moved from a drug bust in a school and college to event management to now they have also issued notices to Tollywood stars. Do you think it's part of a larger network?
It is a larger network, not only larger, it's a mega larger network, and investigation should be handed over to the central agency like NIA, or a big wing can be formed as a special task force for this investigation on national level. I am sure this is not only Hyderabad. It will go beyond Andhra, it will go beyond Tamil Nadu, it will go beyond Maharashtra. Everywhere it will go beyond, because it is not only Udta Punjab, this is Udta India. They are going to make and playing dirty with our young minds and corrupt our young minds. A big conspiracy internationally. This is a war against India.
Right. And we have Father Joe Pereira with us, who is waging this war. Father Pereira, tell us this. From what we see, drug peddlers are saying that children are easy business. How do we then protect our children? Because at the risk of making them mistrustful of every person they meet, how do you safeguard them from people like these?
They are innocent prey to these sharks, and they are all oriented towards an industry of huge corruption and black money and what do you call it, all hawala deals and all those kind of things. So sad to say that the original mechanism, I'm very happy that the ACP is putting a very strong emphasis on a global, not global but national kind of evil, but human nature being what it is. This kind of drug peddling and mind-altering substances have become not only an industry, but a very big source of money spinning, you know, and therefore it's a dragnet. It's a kind of chakravyu, you know. They are sucked into a kind of a system that is also politically horribly corrupt. You know, there is a very sophisticated...
Mr. Pereira, tell us this. This is a conversation that we are no longer having with our children. We are no longer having in our schools, in our drawing rooms. The conversation about drug abuse. This is something that we kept talking about, and Dhanraj Vanzari will also attest to this, that when we were growing up at least, we did hear about drug abuse. We don't hear about this anymore. Nobody talks about it. Our children do not know that there is something called drugs which they should not be using.
No, sorry to interrupt you. I want to tell you one thing, that the whole lifestyle of the country has changed because it has aped the West, and all the value systems of Bharatiya Sanskriti has been wiped out by all this modernization. And so the whole lifestyle has become self-gratification, Atma Trupti. And the real adhyatmikata, the spirituality, has completely gone out of our children. So, therefore, when you're talking about yoga and values of optimum physical, mental, and spiritual health, right, we are looking at a society that has been corrupted by all kinds of money and all kinds of evil. So, drug abuse is only, I would say, a kind of a symbol of high corruption and self-gratification. So therefore, we have to put the axe to the root. The root is right now eaten up by all kinds of base.
Exactly, and let me bring in Dhanraj Vanzari over here. I do remember that when we talk about taking the axe to the root, there was a time when the police had got very tough with drug pushers, with gangs that were selling drugs, and that's how we were able to kind of crack down on the mafia at that point in time. Do you think it's time that we wage war on drugs once again?
Of course, yes. It's the right time. Rather, it is the right time. We must wage war if you want to save our young minds. Now, I think Mr. Pereira, my great friend, was talking about spirituality and all these things, the ethics and moral value. Let me ask him one question. What kind of ethical and moral standard you set for our coming generation? Do you set our scams? Do you set our political scams been happening in this country? Do you set Malia as a value? What value we are doing simply?
Right, Mr. Ansari, at the risk of interrupting both you gentlemen, let me bring the discussion back to point. Father Pereira, before we close, the thing that I want to ask you is this. For all of us, those who have children to look out for, how do we teach them about drug abuse? How do we talk to them about drug abuse? What do we tell them to guard against? And also, what should parents, what should teachers be looking for in children to recognize that this child is probably abusing drugs?
Yeah. The best thing we have to do is, instead of concentrating on a negative dimension of the youth going the wrong way, I would rather fill the youth with a lot of positive values and prevent all kinds of distractions, and keep a young person focused on self-fulfilling, building oneself, what is known as, one's own personality, one's own value system, and keeping away only from those dangerous practices. So if you transform a human being from a kind of a desire to only self-gratify, and today recreation has become a huge...
right, but what are the warning signs that we should be looking out for, Father Joseph?
Basically, self-will running riot. In other words, a boy or a girl not disciplined. There is no sense of discipline in their life, and there's no purpose in their life. There is too much of competition, and some people don't achieve, and then they lose their sight. So there has to be a variety of choices in careers that will keep...
Father Joseph, I'm afraid I'll have to cut you there. We are running out of time. ACP Vanzari, thank you very much for joining us. Of course, the drug menace that we are seeing in Hyderabad is merely the tip of an iceberg. It is like a cancer that is spreading through our society, and it is targeting our young, our children, and which is why at Mirror Now we take drug abuse very, very seriously, and this is something that we will keep bringing up. This is something that we will keep highlighting and which we'll keep having conversations on. Thank you for watching.